Hey everyone, welcome to our webinar. We'll be talking about how you can build a successful subscription monetization strategy for OTT businesses. We have today over here Nick, who is the CEO of AlphaOTT. I'd just run by some housekeeping rules before we start the webinar. So this webinar is scheduled to last for 40 minutes. All the participants during this session will be muted. You can raise your questions via the questions tab or the chat tab, and the recordings will be sent to you within 24 hours. Over to you, Matthew. Over to you, Nick. Let's have a great webinar.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm very pleased to be here with Nick. I'm a customer success team lead here at Chargebee. I love the job because it gives me an opportunity to be exposed to a lot of different industries. And so the streaming media and OTT business is an area that I've been able to have some exposure to in recent years. For those who are here to talk about OTT more than about subscription billing, I do want to give you a little bit of a briefing on Chargebee and what we are and do. As a software, we automate revenue operations for high-growth B2C and B2B subscription businesses. The software will manage and grow your revenue by streamlining subscriptions, billing, invoice payments, and revenue recognition processes. And we cut across acquisition, conversion, retention, reconciliation, revenue recognition, and revenue intelligence areas of focus. It's not about me though, it's about Nick. So let's turn to you, Nick, learn a little bit about the business that you represent before digging into a bit of a conversation.
Yep. Hi, Matthew. Hi, everyone. My name is Nick Ntigrintakis. I am the CEO of AlphaOTT. We are Miami-based and established 2016. We offer end-to-end software solutions for OTT software solutions for ISP, telcos, and operators. We have plus 50 deployments, mostly in North America, but we have some in LATAM and EU. And we have many strategic partnerships in the OTT ecosystem to provide our solutions.
Great.
Yes. This is.
So I'll go ahead and take the share off the screen. I'm thrilled that you're here to be able to talk with us a bit about the OTT and streaming media business and industry. I want to start off things essentially at the beginning and talk about one of the meaningful dates for the industry, essentially marking the beginning. 2007 is when Netflix launched their first streaming option to their users. And so that means over the last 14 years, it's an industry that has been growing and evolving. And so I'm wondering if you can tell us some of the major changes that have happened in that span of time, as well as how AlphaOTT and yourself arrived on the scene as players in the industry.
Yes, as a tech enthusiast, I was very excited when Netflix was started and released, and we started directly after make some experiments in a hobby level, transport video over the internet, and 2011 we started to do that more professional with our TMP then and other streaming protocols. And 2016 we won a big project and started the AlphaOTT and entered the industry. And we see the changes from 2000 when Netflix started, what have happened and what is happening, and we are very, very excited, and we see that the technology and the internet carriers are supporting this, and this is the future of the TV.
Yeah, I think in one of the conversations we had previously, you mentioned there was a moment in your observation of the industry where you said, if the infrastructure can meet the demand, this is going to be really big. And I think that has proven out. And so today we find ourselves in a fairly fully adopted industry as far as OTT and streaming media. My first question was about kind of a long range period of time, that 14 years that have intervened between now and 2007. I want to focus a little bit more in this question on what has happened in the very recent past as well as today, a period of time where there's been a pandemic and renewed interest in in-home entertainment. How do you feel the current moment in time is leaving its mark on the industry, and how is the industry itself changing to stay fresh and current?
We see the most important, we see that the households are subscribing to more OTT service due to the pandemic, and the cinemas are closed. So the household does not only have a Netflix, they have 4 or 5 different OTT subscriptions, and we see the demand raise with the pandemic, and even for us as a solution provider, the demand have exploded, and many ISPs, telcos, and operators want to join this technology and offering to the subscribers, and we see that the pandemic have boosted extremely.
Yeah, I think some of the early players, they were kind of broadcast focused, meaning they wanted to find something that would appeal to everyone. Is it true that today some of the new entrants are focusing more on regions or specialty niches? What have you seen in that regard?
Yeah, we see niches is very important, especially on religious, on ethnic, on very niche communities. And OTT give this, the technology and the OTT give the opportunity to do that with smart and fast ways to deploy that. So it's not only the traditional ISPs that want to enter the area, it's even operators or content owners that want to share the content to the subscribers. So niche is very, very important for the operators. And we see more and more requests in AlphaOTT on niche ethnic project. Religious we have seen is a big race to do that. The churches and all the places are locked down due to the COVID, so they want to reach out through the OTT.
Yeah, that's interesting to realize. There's people who are lacking cultural experiences and lacking worship experiences that are trying to do some of that in the home. So essentially, there are content options for every language and religion in the world, in addition to some of the broadcast content that might be out there.
The election boosted a lot the OTT industry too, and we see that the ethnic, as you say, is very, very popular to deploy these days.
Awesome. So we know a little bit about the industry and some of the content trends that might be in play today. And turning for a moment to monetization, there's a lot of options when we talk about monetizing OTT, and each model has found success for some players. So when you consider, for example, YouTube has a freemium version with ads and a paid version with additional benefits, as well as the widespread use of free trials in the industry, what guidance would you give to a player in the industry choosing and executing a monetization strategy? What should they be thinking about?
This is very regional, but the AVOD and SVOD, both in parallel, is very popular. The tools to do the monetization is the most important part. To have the option to do all kind of monetization versions. Example, sign up with free trial, sign up with free trial without credit card, sign up with a free trial with credit card, have a AVOD where you upsell with SVOD in different tiers. So all this is very important to have a monetization tool that support that. And when we build AlphaOTT, we did not build the monetization in AlphaOTT. So we connect with Chargebee that offers the options to do all the different kinds of monetizations. But the most important is to have a flexible monetization tool that can allow you to do all the marketing types.
Yeah, that makes sense. It looks like we do have a question from one of our participants. I'll go ahead and read this. Do you expect further fragmentation in the streaming space, or do you anticipate consolidation with 3 to 4 major players dominating as we go forward?
Yeah, the 3-4 major players will dominate in the content that is for the broad audience. That's my expectation. But for the niche, that can be everything from religious to niche sport, will be a wide fragmentation, I believe.
Right.
But to have the CNN and Fox and the basic news channels, it's very difficult for smaller operators to compete with the big players. But if you have the right content that the specific groups or want, then I believe it can be a big success.
Yeah, it sounds like there is opportunity to dominate some niche markets. And so the smaller players can definitely orient their focus on that. I do want to say, if there's anybody else that has questions, feel free to pose those. We want to be able to get all of your questions answered. On the topic that we were discussing just a moment ago, the monetization strategies, you mentioned that you make Chargebee available to the businesses that you consult with regard to their OTT monetization strategies. And you said they're looking for something flexible. So it sounds like perhaps the answer, what monetization channel should we choose, is not necessarily, they'll choose AVOD and stick with it. There's different plans for different user personas and potentially for different moments in time. And you might have a company that you're consulting and offering services to that's really heavy into AVOD and the ad monetization area, and they realize we're missing out by not having a subscription option, and so they'll make that change in flight, so to speak, while they already are operating that earlier piece of the business.
Yeah, exactly. We have many case studies where clients were having AVOD and it's financed by the ads, and want to offer premium content when they have the subscriber as a AVOD subscriber. And with a flexible billing tool or monetization tool, they can easily handle the monetization to upsell the subscriber with different packages or content tiers. And again, it's very important to have a good monetization tool that is flexible, easy to integrate, and fast to deploy. And we reach that with Chargebee to our clients.
Awesome. I'm really pleased that you're able to deliver some services with a benefit of a billing solution that allows for people to frictionlessly scale to the full user base. So it warms my heart to hear it. That is one piece of what you might say is the technological stack for an OTT player. The right monetization model definitely offers a competitive edge, but their ability to capitalize on opportunities for change as they go, I think they have a lot more ability to be nimble when they're operating on top of a good tech stack. So from your perspective, Nick, what are the major components of the tech stack for an OTT player, and how would they go about acquiring those technology resources today?
Yeah, they need to have a middleware like one that we offer that handle and manage all the content and subscription packages that is offered. And you need to have a good front end that is supported by the majority of the devices. And then you need to have a CDN that can deliver the stream seamless to the subscriber. Or on top of that, you need to have the security, that is the DRM, to protect the streams, the content, so the front-end provider can give the licensing of the content to the operator. So with AlphaOTT, we offer the middleware and the front applications, and then we integrate the CDN, we integrate the stream protection, the DRM, we integrate the monetization like Chargebee, and we offer them the end-to-end solution. So a small operator or a very big operator can seamlessly deploy the services with a full stack of technologies.
That sounds like a really comprehensive kind of outlay of what's required. I have recollection of a time when digital rights management, so DRM, that component of the tech stack was a very intensive process to build something custom to your content delivery model, things like that. But that's become a little bit more kind of almost module based, more turnkey as the industry has matured. Would you say that that's fair?
Yeah, that's fair. A very important step for OTT, because today the DRM is dominated by the three big players, that is Google, Apple, and Microsoft. So they have the protocols that is supported in the devices and the browsers. So a Google phone have the Chrome system, the Widevine DRM system. The Apple have the FairPlay, and the Microsoft is the Play Ready. And this is very easy to integrate in an OTT platform by a third-party provider that have the solution like a plugin to the middleware and the front-end applications. So today is easy and cost-effective to arrange the DRM in a OTT system. With IPTV in the past, it was complicated, expensive, hardware-driven, need to pay license per device, set-top box with the chips and all that. Nowadays, it's much easier, and it's a plug-and-play solution, actually. And we use 2-3 providers that we integrate, and very successful project that the content provider approve, and the operator can easily sign up the content deals.
That's definitely, I love hearing kind of the story that allows for an industry to scale and mature, and that definitely seems like one of the building blocks. And considering we have time to discuss this in a little bit of detail, it seems that there are some services available to the market today that are almost blogger friendly, right? It makes the considerations that any player has to make regarding tech stack or tools irrelevant, because they can just go on and Vimeo offers some OTT capability, things like that. Is there maybe a temptation to move too far into the ease of use category with going with some of those very streamlined, I guess, user-friendly options?
We believe in a neutral platform like AlphaOTT, that we give the operator the freedom to choose who will be the monetization. Not only the monetization, even the payment gateway. This is things that many times we want to be controlled by the ready-to-go system that is deployed in 24 hours. For us to deploy our OTT clients, we need at least 3 months from the project kickoff to the delivery of applications, where we have own labeled applications, rather than having a solution where you put your credit card and you are up and running in 24 hours. But this is more, for hobby projects or blogger projects. But if it should be for broadcasting and for bigger projects, you need to have a carrier-graded system like AlphaOTT.
Yeah.
We believe a lot on a neutral platform where we give the ability and the freedom to the operator to connect whatever they want to the platform. Analytics, monetization, CDN, everything is click on the system.
Yeah, I think the time you save in the kind of the time to delivery is just the time of other people making decisions for you, right? They've taken a lot of that out of the equation, and so the time that you might spend implementing a client is time you spend making it the way that they want. So that makes a bit of sense.
Is all correct.
So it's an industry that has gotten really rather mature with the focus on it. I think one of the things that is interesting is it's a large market representing a lot of dollars. And so there are people who might want to control the process at various stages. So it's interesting to know a little bit about customization versus ease of use and things like that. But we find ourselves today in an industry where there's 300 streaming services for customers to choose from. A lot of them will have maybe a half a dozen different streaming media services that they use. So potentially, a cancellation event from a user could be never more than one unsatisfying viewing experience away. What would you say are some good ways for OTT providers to retain their viewers and build a community or an ecosystem that promotes that stickiness?
Yeah, everyone loves Netflix model. It's simple, clean, and work a lot with customer subscribers. Personalization is very important. I believe our OTT service need to offer personalization and keep working all the time with the subscriber, sending him emails or notification to keep him interested with the content that the platform is offering. And like all the industry, following and see what Netflix is doing, and they are doing a great work on that. And we offer similar solutions to our clients, our operators, with personalization, artificial intelligence to suggest content. Of course, the resume play, favorites, next episode. This is very, very basic. And then you have more advanced functions like artificial intelligence that can suggest you the next movie or series that fit your user or viewer behavior. And this nowadays is a must for the platform success.
Yeah, I think it's funny in my own kind of user behavior. I've over time learned what my tastes are, because the platform will tell me, hey, you've been watching a lot of this, do you want more of it? So dramatic comedies is kind of my thing. I've learned over time. And so when my wife is in my profile or I'm in my wife's profile, we get a little territorial because it's like, hey, you're messing up my settings. So that logic-based approach to serving content, I think, is an interesting enhancement to the industry that's emerged in recent years. So we've talked a little bit about retaining customers. Fighting to hold on to customers and their wallet share is a battle for a few OTT players today. But I think for a lot of OTT players, the problem is getting into that mix. And so a few key players dominating the market and some emerging businesses trying to get that foothold. It seems like content is a big factor, but even that won't get the job done. What would you say that startup and emerging players in the OTT space can do to acquire new viewers and users?
Content is very important. Content that your audience want. Many devices available in many devices. So we offer up to 16 type of device, everything from your iPhone to your PlayStation, your Xbox, all kind of smart TVs. This is a need to be supported. And we see a trend with free sign up, free trial with sign up without credit card. Of course, this is a commercial decision, but we see that it's important to get the subscriber in the platform and then keep him there. And if you can take him in without any obligation, no credit card, just sign up fast, easy, one-click sign up, we often say. One-click sign up, and you can offer him the content that he wants, then you have him for sure. And then the billing, the monetization with Chargebee is very smooth, where the subscriber have their own interface where they can cancel easier, they can put the add-ons, and you have that on the monetization tool.
Yeah, I think your point of getting people in for free, giving them a good experience, and then making it frictionless to stay is definitely kind of a winning equation. I like that one of the things that you're able to offer to your customers who you've given access to Chargebee or recommended integrating with Chargebee is, yeah, that self-service capability. And if the actual OTT provider wants them to be able to upgrade but not downgrade or cancel, they have the granular capability to say, I'm going to allow them to do these things self-serve and not these other things. So setting things up to be as frictionless as possible to keep people there when they're there, I think is a really good part of the overall play. I think that we have enough time to handle questions. Pallavi, do you, I think you're texting me with perhaps a question now, and we'll see what more our audience has to say. All right, so the next question. OTT subscriptions, though bought for limited users, have multiple people accessing them, even with device and profile limits. What can providers do to avoid this or circumvent this abuse?
Yeah, this is a very, very good question, credential abuse. It's very wide problem in the industry. One login and password is around many people. We have a solution called AlphaOTT Secure, but it's extremely difficult to limit the subscriber with IP because it's an OTT service. So the industry is working very, very hard with credential abuse, and the problem is if you are too hard on the security, you will lose the subscriber. So in our solutions, it's very easy, to determine if you will have 1, 2, 3, 4, how many you want to be connected on one subscription, because we talk per household, not per subscriber nowadays. So many offer one subscriber or one device or 3 device per account. So this is what the industry is really try to do. You cannot be too hard in the security because then you lose revenue tech side. Okay, that was my answer.
Awesome. So I do want to spend just another quick moment on that, the license abuse issue. So it does turn into a little bit of a judgment call on the OTT providers side, how strict they want to set those limits, because there's the risk of lost revenue on one side, or there's the risk of a lost customer on the other. So there's capabilities that allow for that, but it requires that they make a little bit of a philosophical answer to a question about how strict they want that.
Yeah, so technically no limitation. The thing is that how hard will we be to the subscriber? Because it's very easy to limit him to a IP pattern or a IP range, but then the subscriber maybe travel to another state, and should you block him for that? So it's a very interesting question, and it's a big it's something we know and working constantly to try to figure out how to handle the credential abuse.
That makes sense. So one of the questions posed has to do with a little bit more about the revenue tech stack. there is a lot of flexibility that's had through Chargebee, its core features and functionality. A question that I have for you, Nick, do you, in your use of our system and processes, utilize any of our integrations, to a CRM system or an accounting system that benefit you? Have you gotten feedback from your customers about them being able to get utility out of that extensibility as well? What input do you have for me?
Yeah, I have very good input. The affiliate integrations are very, very important. And when you have a supportive monetization tool like Chargebee that have ready-made integration with, let's say, the affiliate providers, the biggest affiliates providers, that make the operators work very, very secure and seamless, because then we have it integrated on Chargebee, we have it integrated on AlphaOTT, and the operator can offer affiliate solutions that generate them more revenues. So affiliates is one part. The other is reporting, even big data. You have partnerships that you can connect to analyze the churn, the monthly estimations, that it really is impossible with monetization system that is built in from providers like me. So we don't have a monetization system built in AlphaOTT, but our competitors, majority, have a monetization built in, and that give them not the opportunity to integrate like Chargebee. So this is a very important point, that when you integrate with, when we integrate with Chargebee, we can offer them all the third-part integrations inside Chargebee. That is amazing. And we have a case now that have given them the most of the revenues comes from affiliates. Actually, we're quite big operator in Canada that we have deployed, and to win the project was Chargebee plus the affiliation script was very, very important.
Awesome. I think there's been some interest in the chat to know a little bit about the pricing considerations if someone was to work with AlphaOTT. Would it be possible for Pallavi to maybe embed a pricing page or something to answer those participants' questions?
The price is we simplify the price in an OPEX, so it's a price per subscriber a month. But the pricing in a platform like ours is more complicated, rather, a monetization system. So they are welcome to contact me, and me and my sales team fast reply and see the project and give a very quick and quick pricing on that.
Okay, that makes sense. Another question has come in, and thanks for letting me play 20 questions with you. What metrics, in your opinion, should OTT businesses stay on top of, both from a revenue perspective and contact and user point of view?
Yeah, that's a very good question, and the content deal is very important. What content deal the operator cut, and for the content deal, we determine the subscriber price, of course, to set the revenue of the operator. So it's a difficult question, actually. It's because it's based on the content deal that the operator will do, the OTT business, actually.
Okay, so metrics that track the content, the deal with your content provider, right?
Yeah, and how popular and how hot the content is.
Okay, so that would be views over time, for example, for a specific piece of content that will determine that content's future on the platform, things like that?
Yeah, exactly. The statistic is there, so it's very easy to know what will sell and not sell.
Makes sense. think we've had a little bit of slowing in the questions, but I appreciate the opportunity to get to know you, Nick, as we've prepared for the webinar. It definitely is an exciting time. I think seeing an industry that has grown with so much, dynamic fervor, and to know that it continues to evolve at a pretty rapid pace, makes it an exciting industry to work in or to work with. Let me see if I've got another question. It seems like perhaps I do. Companies like Vubiquity, providers of VOD content for OTT, they require a lot of reports on the commercialization and use of the films and titles. How would we implement this content provider requirement?
Yes, this is a very good question. Many times the content provider want to report how many minutes the viewer have watched, how many times, from which region, etc. We do that either in AlphaOTT or from the CDN. Akamai is a preferred partner where we pull out the titles, and we can get the megabyte or a gigabyte downloaded and the minutes. So that's something that's required. Again, we are not doing this in our platform because we believe that it's specialized companies that handle the monetization of the content itself, not the monetization of the subscription. Here is the monetization of the usage of the licensed content.
Okay. Pallavi, I'll defer to you. I think we've gotten a lot of value out of the discussion today. We're only a few minutes short of what I think was the allotted time. Anything else in closing, Pallavi, from you or any of the other marketing team participants before we close?
That was a great discussion, Matthew and Nick. Nick, would you like to share your thoughts around this webinar, or any suggestions for our attendees of this webinar?
Yes, I want to thank you, Matthew, and you for hosting me here and give the opportunity to describe how we successfully have integrate your solution. That I believe is a very good solution for the operators to build the right monetization. If the operator does not have an existing billing system like most of the ISPs have, we believe that the Chargebee is a perfect fit where you can easy set the monetization models in the project. That can be everything from sign up with free trial without credit card to sign up with a voucher or a coupon to use the service for X days. And all this flexibility give the OTT provider the possibility to launch fast and successfully.
There's a lovely comment from Robert as well. Thanks, Nick. That'll be all then. Matthew, do we have any other questions left, or is that all for the day?
In my view, I don't see any other questions. I'm thrilled, Nick, that we could spend this time together. Thanks everybody who came and attended and contributed questions. We appreciate it, and we wish you success in the future.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Matthew. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.